Hi, I'm Rachel, and this is my literary fiction mock reads post of 2024. So, the mock reads of words thing that I do is basically a play on the Goodreads Choice Awards. And it's this tier ranking blog post I make in October right before GCA starts. And it's my way to try to encourage myself to read a little bit of front list every year. Not all of that front list will be buzzy enough to make it onto the Goodreads Choice Awards, but I figure I should, read what I want to read rather than what necessarily is popular. Hopefully there will be some overlap, which is always fun when GCA rolls around, but mostly I just want to read what I want to read. Most of my, reading throughout the year is very heavily backlist, so I try to squeeze on 3 titles in my favorite genres of frontlist. And I thought I'd start by talking about some of the general literary fiction that has so far, popped out to me. I'm sure there's a lot more books that are exciting that who knows, maybe I'll ultimately read when they're backlist, but you gotta start somewhere. So here we go. And I mean, I already technically started by talking about 3 of these for my anticipated reads video I made back in January, so. And 2 of those anticipated reads are in fact coming out next week on the 12th. The first one is Mother Doll by Katya Apekina, which is a Soviet Jewish novel about family, and in fact I've been seeing it get touted now on like Jewish Book Council and other places, so the buzz is coming. And the second one is translated fiction. It's The Hebrew Teacher, which is in fact 3 novellas by Maya Arad about Israeli women living and going through, family and professional issues in the U.S. So yeah, I even think that it's a small press book, but I think my DC library might have it on order, so that'll be exciting. Maybe I could get it that way. And then the final book I put on my anticipated reads comes out in May, on May 7th right now, and it is The Mother of All Things by Alexis Landau, which caught my attention because some years back I read her book, The Empire of the Senses, which was a World War I historical novel, which I really liked a lot. And then this one is a contemporary about a woman joining this group of women looking back, like it's a feminist group, I think, looking back on Greco-Roman female rights, and I thought that would be kind of intriguing and different, and I liked this author before, so hopefully we'll like this one too. So yeah, I mean, those are the 3 books I've already talked about, but since I'm making a whole other video, I wanted to add in one more book, and in fact, I've been wanting to talk about this book for a long time now. The anticipated release date moved around a lot, and I wasn't sure when to expect it, but I guess the personal hype has been growing for me in my mind. And I also think out of all of these books, this one probably has the best chance to make it onto GCA. So anyway, what I am talking about is Long Island Compromise by Taffy Brodesser-Akner, which is coming out on July 9th. Taffy Brodesser-Akner wrote Fleischman is in Trouble, which is a book I think as more time goes on, I like it more and more. I loved the quirkiness of the writing style. I thought that the adaptation on Hulu, which the author was involved in, had that same feel to it. I just feel like it was firing on all cylinders. It's sort of this, particular rendition of Jewish American life, which isn't necessarily mine, but it kind of feels like the stereotypical Gen Xer New York one, and it came off much better than I thought it would, much more intriguing. And so now this is her new family drama, and the cover just came out, and I really love this cover. It feels like something you'd have on a t-shirt with a bowl cut from the 1970s with this coloring. I just really like it. So yeah, I think this is my most anticipated release of all of these 4 books. Slightly future Rachel here to say, since I'm gushing so much about this book release, maybe I should go ahead and tease a bit about what it's about. So here is the synopsis. In 1980, a wealthy businessman named Carl Fletcher is kidnapped from his driveway in a cloistered town on the nicest part of Long Island, brutalized and held for ransom. He is returned to his wife and kids less than a week later, only slightly the worse, and the family begins the hard work of moving on with their lives and resuming their prized places in the saga of the American dream, comforted by the realization that though their money may have been what endangered them, it is also what assured them safety, too. But nearly 40 years later, when Carl's mother dies and the family comes home to mourn her, it becomes clear that perhaps nobody ever got over anything after all. Carl has spent the ensuing years secretly seeking closure on the matter of his kidnapping, while his wife, Ruth, has spent her potential protecting her husband's emotional health. And their 3 grown children are each a mess as well. Nathan's chronic fear will not allow him to advance in his law firm. Beamer, a Hollywood screenwriter, will consume anything, substance, foodstuff, women, in order to numb his own perpetual terror. And Jenny has spent her life so bent on proving that she's not a product of her family's pathology that she's come to define it. As they hover at the delicate precipice of another kind of survival, they learn that the family fortune has dwindled to just about nothing, and they must face desperate questions about how much their wealth has played a part in both their successes and their failures. And there's a little more of a tease in the final paragraph, how it speaks to parts of American Jewish life as well. And yeah, you know, technically speaking, this feels a lot more like serious or dramatic than Fleischman is in Trouble in some ways. But maybe I'm overstating it, and it'll really come down to her quirky writing style again, which is what I'm hoping will shine through in either case. And I really just loved the nuances of her characters in her first book, which I hope will, you know, transfer over to her second. And if I were going to, you know, scale it down, which I probably will, to only reading 3 books this year, I could get rid of one of the mother books, I suppose. They're redundant. That makes it easy, an easy choice. But I guess we'll see how it goes. You know, it'll depend on which ones I can get my hands on before October, when I'm hoping to actually get to reading all of these books and frontlist books and other, you know, genres as well. Right now, I'm mostly focusing on my 2023 anticipated releases, finishing those up, and hoping maybe, you know, in the later part of the year I can, you know, start squeezing these in when, you know, because by that point more of them will be out and hopefully easily accessible through the library or what have you. I'll just have to figure it out. So that about covers it for me now. I will leave Goodreads links for all 4 of these books listed down below, and my reviews of the books, you know, backlist books from these authors I've already read. And I'd love to hear your thoughts about them, or, you know, most of them I think are kind of niche, but I think that Taffy Brodesser-Akner is like a little more high clout, especially because she had that Hulu adaptation a year or so ago. So have any caught your fancy, or what literary general fiction books are you hoping to read that might then make it onto the Goodreads Choice Awards in November? And anyway, I'll be back on this channel in the next couple of days to do my monthly author's answer video, where I answer reading and writing related questions put out by author tuber J.D. Archer, so stay tuned for that. I hope you are all enjoying your reading, whether it be frontlist or backlist, and whether they be the buzziest popular books or, you know, something more under the radar. Thanks so much for watching, everyone, and I'll see you next time.